Hi, this is Dr. Gary Bell with Absurd Psychology. Now, today we're talking about what's a thing called transactional analysis, which is a communication model in marriage that if you came to grips to understand it, you would do a much better job with conflict. What you have is you have two people, but you have three components. So you have a parent, an adult, and a child, a parent, an adult, and a child, but two people. What often happens in marriage is one will go, "Hey, you promised me you were going to wash the dishes. You didn't wash the dishes. You lied to me." And what happens is the receiver is not upset about what's being said. They're upset about how it's being said. People argue more in marriage over how things are said than what is said because they feel they're being disrespected. So if I'm going to parent my spouse as if they're a child, what's going to happen is that person's either going to walk away or they're going to come back and say, "Hey, you didn't wash the dishes the other day. I did that for you. Did you forget about that? What about that? Do you only think about what you want? How's it feel to be treated like a child? You treat me like a child, so I'm going to treat you like a child." So what you get is crosstalk. Well, crosstalk, parent to child, will create enormous resentment in the bedroom, in your communication, in your parenting, in your life, in your time together. And it will have lots of quiet meals where you never even speak to each other, and lots of time in your phone where you don't even want to engage your partner because nobody wants to be treated like a child. And here's the funny thing, if you have a steady employment, a responsible employment, there's a real good chance that you don't offer that model to your customers or to your peers, and certainly not to your boss. The adult communicates with a very simple thing: flat and straight. You didn't wash the dishes the other day and I had to wash the dishes. I would really appreciate it if you did because I didn't have a lot of time and it was very hard. It was hard to get all that done and get all the other stuff done. I'd just appreciate it if you'd help me. Okay, that's adult conflict. It doesn't take a Broadway production. It doesn't take a lot of verbosity. It doesn't take a lot of nonverbal body language that's really scary. But people hate conflict so much that they get into, or they love conflict, either way, but they create a Broadway experience. Well, we don't need that. And we don't certainly need an aria in an opera, and we don't need to destroy your relationship by your presentation. Flat and straight. Use your words. You tell it to your children. That's what you guys have to do for each other. Use your words and understand that you can empathize with the mistake that they made, because if you're going to focus on the mistake they made, it's going to be hard for them to want to feel like you're in the mood to forgive them. If you were focused on their intention, which I know you were busy, I know you had a hard day, I know you forgot, I understand, but this had to get done, and I need you to think about this next time. You guys have to communicate with respect. Once again, transactional analysis is adult to adult. If you cannot do adult to adult and you have to do a Broadway performance, shut it down, create a timeout, 1 minute on the average for every year of your life, on the average between both of you. Call a time back. Do not call a time back, a timeout with a time back. Call a time back and get to your adult. Set the stage. I don't want to do this conflict negatively. I just want to communicate as two adults who respect each other. That's what we need to do when we come back. You set the stage, you come back at the time you designate to come back, and you resolve. And now we have confidence as a couple. This is Dr. Gary Bell, Absurd Psychology.